Namaste, my beautiful queens, beautiful kings, souls, beings of light, eternal and immortal. No cards will be in this video. I believe that the knowledge which I accumulate is the knowledge which I need to share in such videos when I am simply talking. I'm not putting cards down. And still, in spite of the fact there are tons of books which you can read in digital form without even paying anything. We are not living in the time of Inquisition when you get tortured and burnt at the stake for knowing something, for having a book. They called it heresy. Nowadays, we don't even have to go to the library. We have it in our phones. We can read any information. We can have it and know it. But still somehow, and this is a mystery to me, why while having this all information, giving you all the answers to all of your questions, people still choose not to know and still choose suffering. A lot of people still don't understand what it is choosing you, what it really means, because many of us, including myself, we were brought up by being simply put this structure into our head, into our subconscious, that choosing you is bad, it's negative. I remember watching some Bollywood movie, Indian movie, I don't remember what movie it was, but a young girl was telling to her father, I am a woman, so I do not have any power to choose my path or my life. So it's simply powerless creature with no rights whatsoever, which just must obey. And we somehow were, not just in India, everywhere, we were put this idea, this paradigm that you must sacrifice, you must deserve a good attitude, you must deserve love, you just must constantly make yourself this mat, this carpet under everyone's feet. And of course, those who you do it to are going to be very happy, because it's much harder to walk on the bare ground or floor than just to have a carpet, a nice soft carpet to walk on. So what is really choosing yourself? And as always, I hope someone will hear me. Before I start, I will tell you a little story, a little legend, so you would understand that. I will explain what is gonna happen in your life when you choose you, and what is wrong, totally wrong, when you don't choose you. Once upon a time, many thousands years ago, maybe million years ago, anyway, all people who lived on this planet, on Gaia Earth, because all the beings come from the same source of energy, source of origin. We all come from it, but you have to understand that this is not a person, it's energy. It's the same as to imagine the universe as a person. So all of the beings, humans who lived on our earth, they had the divine power. Each one of them was divine, each one of them was God, because their souls achieved the level of creation. It was a golden era. This golden era, you can find the mentioning of it in many myths, in many legends. This era lasted thousands of years. But the dark side found its way to this planet. And for hundreds of years, by poisoning people with the sweet lies, they found a way to penetrate their minds and the soul of people who were gods. And the result of this influence was really sad and was really terrible. People, gods, started to use the divine power in the wrong way. They were harming, they were hurting themselves and others. They started to be possessed by greed, by envy, by thirst for power. And this lasted for a very long time. So the energy of the source took a form of Brahma, the supreme God, supreme source. Brahma, I'm not going to explain what is the meaning of this word. It's going to take a lot of time. Just imagine that this source took a form of one being. It's a legend, a story with lots of meaning in it. So Brahma took the form of one being, one supreme God, and decided to stop that, somehow stop that, because people forgot their origin and they started to use their power to, unfortunately, doing a wrong thing. Brahma decided to take the divine power from people, gods, who has started again to use it the wrong way, and to hide it. He decided to hide it in such a place where people would not be able to find it and access it and again use it in a wrong way. But unfortunately, even Brahma couldn't think of such a place. So finally, Brahma decided to call other gods, other supreme beings, other advanced beings of cosmos, and ask their advice. Let's hide divine power in the depth of Mother Earth, some of them said. No, Brahma said, you know what, people are smart and they will find a way to get it from there. Okay, let's hide it on the bottom of the ocean, other beings said. It's too deep, people will not get there. Not the best choice, said Brahma, people will get it from there as well. How about the mountains, the highest, the most dangerous mountain? If people ever try to get there, you know, the risk of dying will be too high. They will not get there. And Brahma said, no, it's not a good idea. You don't know people. People will get there and find it. So they were thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking, and they couldn't figure out where do they hide the divine power so people can't reach it and start using it in the wrong way. There is only one way they could use it the right way. And it was a genius idea. Finally, Brahma said, okay, I got it, guys. We will hide the divine power in their very essence, inside of them, in the center of their very being. They will always have it with them and in them, but they will never even guess to look for it inside of them. They will search for God near and far for hundreds of years. They will go climb the mountains, dive into the oceans, go to faraway deserted islands, but they will never guess that it is inside of them, in each one of them. But those who find it in them will not be able to use it in the wrong way. So this is their brilliant idea, and the message, you get it. Each and every one of us, each and every one, come from the same source. And I have showed this book a gazillion times, Destiny of Souls. This is a book of books. This is the answer to all of your questions. Who you are, where you coming from, where you going after you die, what you're going to be doing there when you are not here in physical, about soulmates, about karmic things, about lessons, about different kinds of souls and the goals from different kinds of souls, so on and so on. Everything is in here. To underestimate what this man did is not even possible, because everything is written here. But you need to be willing to get this information and start using it, because most of people are being simply, let's face it, lazy. It's easier just to keep on living the old way. There is an expression, slaves, to be slaves is easy, because slaves don't have to choose. They don't have choices. They must do what they are being told. Unfortunately, a lot of people live just like that without being slaves. They are free, but they still choose to be slaves, just walking the old paradigm and what was put, information which was put into their head, and they just took it without doing a research and understanding what they are, who they are, where they're coming from. Another example I can give you, it was given in this beautiful movie called The Soul. Once upon a time, young fish asked an old fish, I want to go and find the ocean. I heard that this is a magnificent being. I'm going to go and find it. An old fish told him, you are in the ocean. A young fish says, what nonsense. This is just water, and I want to find the ocean. This is how you search for God. You think that it's a person somewhere far away who just looking down at you, punishes you when you are bad or rewards you when you're good. When you are that fish and that water is the ocean, when you are in it and part of it. God is the ocean. You are the wave of this ocean. You are one with it, but you keep on thinking you are somehow separate. So when you neglect you neglect God or Supreme Source. When you allow somebody treat you wrong, you allow God to be treated wrong. When you allow somebody walk over you like all over the carpet, humiliate you, when they humiliate you, they humiliate God. When they hurt you, they hurt God. When they disrespect you or devalue you, they devalue and disrespect God, period. But when you allow it to happen, and you're twice as guilty. You make choices every single day. Every day you make a choice. You can choose to be a slave. You can choose to be free. You can choose to suffer. You can choose to not suffer. You choose. You choose what your life should be or you want it to be. And nobody owes you. Not your parents, not your boyfriend, not your husband, not your society, not your religion. No one owes you and have the right to tell you what to do. You are eternal, immortal being, which had been, which is, and which will be. And the old man who is 92, who teaches you what you must do with your life, could be a young soul who lived maybe a couple dozens of lives. And you could be a soul who lived a couple thousands of them. So what happens when you choose you, not everybody else? Now, of course, I'm not telling you you have to abandon your children, leave them without care or food and just walk away in searching for truth. I don't mean that. I hope you know and understand what I mean. When you start to choose you, when you start this movement towards yourself, please don't expect that a lot of people who were in your life before you started to choose you are gonna be happy. They are used to walk all over you. You are comfortable for them. So please don't expect when you start losing them, don't expect that they're gonna be happy. Because they like to have you there as whatever, shoulder to cry, rising their self-esteem, the beating bag, someone who serves them, someone who whatever. When you choose to refuse from everyone else's opinion and you only take what you want and you think you choose yourself, what you can expect is you can expect people who, at least some of them, who are around you or who are in your life, they're just going to be gone out of your life because you stop serving them on this or that point. And when you choose yourself, you start to be awakened. When you choose yourself and you get a book like this or the first book of his Journey of Soul, and then you start understanding that you are it. You have, not just you have the right, this is the right from the moment you were created. You are a unique being. No one is like you. No one in a whole multiverse. Universe is not a single thing. There are multiverses. They are dimensions which you can't even imagine. You choose to know or you choose not to know. You choose to be a slave and constantly keep on serving and trying to deserve love or affection or attitude, or you just can't simply get away from it and walk your own path. No one comes to this incarnation without goals, without missions, without your specific talents to shine. Nobody. So when you choose yourself, you choose God in you, you realize you are one with it. You don't have to look for the ocean. You are in the ocean. You understand how things are. You start choosing you. And then unfortunately it cannot be easy. Awakening, spiritual awakening, start walking your own path, can discover you a lot of not very pleasant things. Because what can happen? You start realizing that things which they told you were not true. You start realizing that you did not decide nothing pretty much in your life. Your profession was decided by your father. The man you married, your parents liked him or something like this. Someone constantly was making choices for you and you just kept on obeying. But at the same time, it's easier this way because you're not responsible. It's like everything is done and decided for you. You just obey. So Of course, when you start choosing yourself, those who you used to obey, those who used to, tell you what to do and you just simply were doing it so you can be a good girl. This is the most tragic word, a good girl. Be a good girl. Conceal, don't feel. Be a good girl for everyone. No, this is wrong. Good girls are becoming doormats of everyone, for men, for relatives, for everyone. They don't stand up for themselves. They just let everyone walk over them. Be a bad girl. Being a bad girl doesn't mean you start smoking and sleeping with tons of men. Being a bad girl means you choose you. Self-respect, self-value, self-dignity, self-love. You start to decide your life when you choose you. I want this, and I'm gonna start walking towards this. Of course, people who can't how people use you most of the time. Shame, blame, guilt, feeling of responsibility. Shame, how can you do it? Guilt, if you were a grateful daughter, I did so much, or son. Shame, blame, feeling of guilt, and responsibility. You must spend your life serving me. Really, why? Why? So if you choose yourself, you stop falling for these manipulative tactics. These are most used methods of manipulation. Shame, blame, guilt, so-called responsibility. They manipulate you. They try to make you do what they want you to do. They want it for themselves, not for you. And when you choose not to be manipulated by shame, blame, guilt, responsibility, they will blame you that, you are ungrateful, or you're selfish, or you think only for yourself and about yourself. Again, shame, blame, guilt. But you just need to smile and say, you know what? You choose your path, I choose mine. When you choose yourself, you stop trying to deserve love. Because love cannot be deserved. Love cannot be nothing. If this, I already made a video. If they hate you, why it's useless to try to change it. I will link this video under this video. When someone loves you, they just love you. Whether you gave them wheat seed or you gave them nothing, love is simply either there or it's not there. You can't deserve love. Even if you cut your heart out, you put it on a plate, you bring it to that person, whoever it is, your father, your mother, a man, a neighbor, your mother-in-law, you cannot change that. They either love you or they don't love you. So when you choose yourself, you stop trying to deserve love. Because it was put into your head that the love must be deserved. The good attitude must be deserved. No. People see your value, people see your soul, people understand who you are. They will treat you with love, respect, dignity, care, compassion. If they don't treat you with love, dignity, respect, care, compassion, they will not start treating you this way even in 20 years. Even if you buy them a castle, even if you give them all your blood, period. You're gonna stop trying to deserve approval. Stop trying to deserve love. Stop trying to deserve approval. And you become completely not dependent on people's opinion about you. In my profession, I have people from all over the world, all over the world, and I think it's 92 countries I have subscribers. And I do have very famous people among my clients. It's not like I'm bragging, no. Famous people are just people just like us. But the poison there when you become famous, that they start to stop living and being themselves. The exclusion here is Keanu Reeves. If I could say, I worship this man, because he, with all the fame, with all the money, he keeps on just being a great human being. So famous people, or even if they're famous in their village or their city, they start maniacally depend on opinion of other people, or what they gonna say. And it turns their life into hell. Let's face it. Let's face it really clearly. That unless these are very close people to you, very close, those do care. If those are not close people to you, let's face it, they don't really care. They have their own life. They have their own issues. They have their own insecurity. But famous people, whether it's famous within a city or a state or a country, they become the prisoners of what people will think about me, what will they say about me, and they start wearing the multiple masks while all inside of them turns dark, because they stop being themselves. They just try to be this perfect everything. So God forbid someone will say something against them. When you choose yourself, you no longer depend on what your cousin, uncle, or your neighbor is gonna tell about you. Seriously, why your life must depend on what your neighbor is gonna say, or what your cousin, second, third, fifth cousin's gonna say, or what anyone's gonna say? You are your own being. No one must or should claim that you belong to them. You don't belong to nobody, but at the same time, no one belongs to you. If someone chooses to be in your life, means just, unless this is someone who is there with you and for you, it's an authentic soul. They are not there for you because you give them something or you serve them at some point. I don't remember who said it. I think it was the Chinese wise man. I've met an enemy on my path, and it was the most severe and worst enemy in my life. That enemy was me. You are your worst enemy. But when you choose yourself, you will find that enemy. And you will learn to find peace with that enemy. It could be ego. It could be your fears, insecurities. When you look into the eyes of your fears, they lose control over you. Of course, walking towards you is not something easy. You coming back to you, it's like you have this house inside of your soul, this beautiful castle which had been abandoned completely. And you need to come back into that house and start clearing it, fixing the roof, fill it with love, fill it with care, fill it with all the beautiful things. Of course, it's very hard work. Very hard work. But book which I just showed you is a tremendous help, because you just know where you're coming, where you're going to be going, what is going on, what's the reasons of the things happening in your life. I believe that my own book will also be able to give a lot of answers to people, but it's still being under construction, if I can say so. So this, my beautiful queens, what I wanted to tell you. You are here on this planet, in these bodies, in the costume which is given to you temporarily for this one life, to find you in there. You're not here to please everyone. You're not here to sit and cry over some guy not calling you, the eternal being of light, sitting there in little corners saying, oh, why he's not calling me? I don't want to leave. Think how ridiculous it is. Think how ridiculous we waste our life by trying to deserve approval of people who don't even know us, trying to deserve love of someone who doesn't give a damn, trying to deserve girls. Where will we hide divine power? We will hide it inside of themselves, and they will never guess it's out there. It's out there waiting for you to find it. I hope someone heard me. These videos I consider my most important work. I consider that this kind of videos is something what one of the things I am here to do on this planet. I consider it's important. 1, 2, 3 of you, if heard me, that's already victory of light, victory of power of the divine, power of the all the wonderful things which are out there, and the loss of the dark. Thank you for listening. Namaste.